Students, today we are going to study the chapter The Mauryan Empire. Now let us see what topics we have to study in this chapter according to the reduced syllabus. We have to study the two literary sources, Arthashastra and Indica, and the two archaeological sources, Ashokan edicts and Sanchi stupa. Besides that, we have to study the administration of Chandragupta Maurya and Ashoka as well as Ashoka's Dhama. The Mauryan Empire was founded in the 4th century BC by Chandragupta Maurya. It was the first most powerful empire in the history of India. Arthashastra is the most important literary source for the study of Mauryan period. It was written by Kautilya, who is also known as Chanakya or Vishnugupta. He was the advisor and prime minister of Chandragupta Maurya. Arthashastra is written in Sanskrit. It gives a detailed description of social, political and economic condition of India during the Mauryan period. It also provides a detailed account of the duties of a ruler and how a kingdom should be governed, civil and criminal laws, military organizations, etc. Another literary source is Indica, written by Megasthenes, who was a Greek ambassador at the court of Chandragupta Maurya. He was sent by the Greek ruler Seleucus to the court of Chandragupta Maurya at Patliputra. The book Indica throws valuable light on the administration, society, and economy of the Mauryan period. The original book has been lost, but it is known to us through the writings of the later Greek writers like Strabo, Arrian, and Diodorus. There are two major archaeological sources that help us to reconstruct the history of the Mauryan period. They are the edicts of Ashoka and the Sanchi stupa. First of all, we'll study about the edicts of Ashoka. What is an edict? An edict is an official order issued by a king. The edicts of Ashoka are inscribed on rocks and pillars. There are total 14 major rock edicts and 7 pillar edicts and a number of minor rock edicts. Most of the Ashokan edicts have inscriptions in Prakrit language describing Ashoka's Dhama and instructions given to the officials of his kingdom. These provide important information about the extent of Ashoka's empire, his religious policies, and administration. These edicts are found in India, Nepal, Pakistan, and Afghanistan. The map shows the places in India where edicts of Ashoka has been found. Pillar edicts. These edicts are engraved on stone pillars surmounted by capitals. The pillars are made of stone. They are highly polished and have a metallic shine. Many of these pillars carry inscriptions of Ashoka's Dhama. Rock edicts. There are 14 major rock edicts and a number of smaller edicts in various parts of India. These edicts carry inscriptions in Prakrit describing the principles of Buddhism and Ashoka's Dhama. Now let us see the next archaeological source, that is Sanchi stupa. But first, let us know what is a stupa. A stupa is a semi-spherical mound containing Buddha's relics like hair, bones, teeth. A casket with these relics is placed at the base of the dome. A stupa is made of unburnt bricks and stones. The great stupa at Sanchi, near Bhopal in Madhya Pradesh, is the oldest stone structure. The foundation of the Sanchi stupa was laid by Ashoka in the 3rd century BC. It was circled by a railing made of wood that was replaced later by a huge stone railing. The 4 gateways that were added later on the 4 sides of the stupa depict scenes from the life of Buddha and several tales from Jataka. Buddha is represented in the form of symbols like a wheel, a lotus, or a peepal tree. The pillars are surmounted by capitals which contain sculptures of lions. It reveals the artistic skills of the people during the modern period. Now let us study about the important rulers of Mauryan dynasty in short. The first ruler of the Mauryan dynasty was Chandragupta Maurya. He defeated the Nanda ruler of Magad, whose name was Dhanananda, with the help of Chanakya, and laid the foundation of a vast Mauryan Empire. Chandragupta was succeeded by his son Bindusara, who further extended the boundaries of his father's kingdom. Ashoka succeeded to the throne after the death of his father Bindusara. Ashoka was the most popular king of the Mauryan dynasty. Now we will study about the famous Kalinga War. After ascending the throne, Ashoka fought the famous Kalinga War. Kalinga was the only kingdom which was not under Mauryan control. Kalinga was located on the east coast, which is now the state of Odisha. Kalinga was important as it controlled the land and sea routes to South India and Southeast Asia. Ashoka attacked Kalinga and conquered it after a fierce battle. The Kalinga War was a turning point in Ashoka's life. On the map, you can see the kingdom of Kalinga in light orange color. The sufferings and bloodshed of the Kalinga War brought about a great change in the life of Ashoka, and he became a follower of Buddhism. He devoted the rest of his life for the welfare of his people. Now his main objective was to promote his Dharma. Dharma is the Prakrit form of the Sanskrit word dharma, which means religious duty. Ashoka's Dharma was deeply inspired by the teachings of Buddha. It did not contain any particular religion. It was a code of conduct and a moral law that deals with ideas like virtue, justice, morality, and law and duty. Principles of Dharma. According to the rock edicts of Ashoka, the main principles of Dharma were 1. Respect for elders and love for children. 2. Ahimsa or non-violence. 3. Good karma or deeds would bring happiness to man in the next birth. 4. Respect and tolerance towards all religions. 5. Disapproval of empty rituals. Now let us study impact of Dharma on Ashoka's imperial policy. Under the influence of Dharma, people started leading a model life. People followed the policy of religious tolerance propagated by their emperor. The policy of Ahimsa had a great moral impact on people. Crimes like theft and various illegal activities nearly came to an end in the kingdom. The continuous wars and conquests came to an end With the establishment of the policy of Dhamma, this helped the officials to pay attention to the schemes and welfare measures for the good of the people. This resulted in the prosperity of the kingdom. Pan-Indian character of the Mauryan Empire. The Mauryan Empire was very vast with all India character. The word pan can be defined as all, every, whole. So the Mauryan Empire covered nearly all of the Indian region. The Mauryan Empire was one of the largest empires of the world. Chandragupta Maurya annexed the 4 provinces of Kabul, Herat, Balochistan and Kandahar after defeating Seleucus. These 4 provinces remained with Mauryan Empire till the reign of Ashoka. During the rule of Bindusara, certain parts of South India came under the Mauryan control. Mauryas came to occupy most of the Indian subcontinent, giving it a pan-Indian character. The chief advantages of the pan-Indian character of the Mauryan Empire were: first, it ended small independent states. Second, it helped to establish trade links with foreign countries. Third, it increased the military power and helped Mauryan kings to face foreign attack successfully. Fourth, after Ashoka's conquest on Kalinga, there was an end to wars, and this helped the Mauryan kings to pay attention to social and economic life of the people. There was an all-round prosperity in the kingdom. Administration. We get most of the information about the Mauryan administration from the book Indica, written by Megasthenes, and Arthashastra, written by Chanakya. The foundation of an elaborate system of administration was laid by Chandragupta Maurya. Ashoka made some changes after the Kalinga War. The Mauryan administration had 2 main divisions: civil administration and military administration. The civil administration had again 2 main divisions: central government and the provincial government. Central government. The Mauryan administration was highly centralized. The king was the head of the administration. His throne was hereditary. He was the supreme judge and the commander of his army. The king was assisted by a council of ministers known as Mantri Parishad. Each minister was responsible for his department. The council of ministers included Prohit, Senapati, Sanidhata and Samaharta. Besides the ministers, other important officers were Accountant General, Superintendent of Mines, Superintendent of Ports, Superintendent of Weight and Measures, and Controller of Commerce. Provincial government. The Mauryan Empire was divided into 5 provinces that were Magad, Gandhara, Avanti, Southern Province and Kalinga. The head of the province was called Kumar or Aryaputra. Only princes were appointed to this position. The Kumar was assisted by Mahamatra. Other officials were Pradeshika, that is the tax collector, Rajuka, the revenue officer, and Yukta was the treasurer. District administration. The provinces were divided into districts called Janpadas. Major officials who looked after the administration were Pradeshika, Rajuka, and Yukta. Administration of the cities. The head of the city was called Nagaradhyaksha. According to Megasthenes, the administration of Patliputra, the capital city of Mauryan Empire, was looked after by a committee of 30 members. Now let us see the revenue system. The chief source of income was land revenue. It was 1/4 to 1/6 of the produce, and it could be paid in cash or kind. There were two kinds of taxes, Bhaga and Bali. Bhaga was the tax on agricultural produce and cattle, and Bali was a religious tribute. Other sources of revenue were mines, forests, roads, toll tax, fines, manufactured goods, and precious stones. Money collected was used to maintain the army, pay salaries to various officials, and for other public utility services like repairing roads and building hospitals, etc. The spy system. The Mauryan administration had an excellent spy system. There were spies against the spies, and on important matters, more than one agent collected the information. The spies informed the king about the public opinion. The work of the spies was to know the secrets of the foreign rulers, to keep a watch on the high officials, etc. Military administration. The king was the supreme commander of the army. The army consisted of infantry, cavalry, elephants, and chariots. The main weapons used were bows and arrows, shields, spears, and swords. The soldiers were paid salary in cash. A military committee of 30 members controlled the army. The Mauryan kings had built forts throughout the empire for the safety and security of the empire.